One of the common answers to ensuring quality is test everything. But that is a suboptimal choice. Why? Well, we can't. Even in systems of medium complexity, there are thousands of testing possibilities. Too many to fit the strict timelines and resource constraints of typical agile enterprises. And we shouldn't, because, based on practical research, there are almost no defects involving all variables in your system at the same time. Multiple studies from the National Institute of Standards and Technology indicate that the vast majority of defects are related to only one or two inputs. Combinatorial testing is a more optimal approach than test everything. But the definition of everything or total testing scope, regardless of the technique, depends on the level of detail. Not all parameters and values are equally relevant. So, how can we identify the best variation factors for a project iteration? In this video, we will discuss some of the common challenges and solutions in combinatorial model-based testing with Xray Test Case Designer. For this example, we must test if this calculator returns results for any valid combination of user inputs. We should focus on factors that can affect the calculation in a significant way. Beyond the parameters evident from the UI, like purpose buttons or dollar amounts, we will take into consideration the access channel, device and browser, and the user state, logged in or not, under the assumption that the results are slightly different for clients with a known credit score. Regarding elements that shouldn't be in the model, we typically rely on execution frameworks for handling factors like the environment. Although not on this app, user inputs collected for demographic or marketing purposes, such as name or email, should also be excluded from the model, since they don't affect the expected outcome. First, let's see how the brute force approach could work. We evaluate the seemingly important options for each parameter based on requirement mentions and production data. Then, list them all individually. The model in Test Case Designer could look like this. Once we start evaluating possible data permutations for each test, even the pairwise technique generates the suite with more than 200 tests, which is way too big for in-sprint execution. Imagine how unmanageable the results of a test-everything approach would be. So let's see how we can optimize the model. Starting with the value definition strategies, based on the conversations with developers and business stakeholders, and the improved knowledge of the calculator logic, we will narrow down the list of individual values using equivalence classes. They will be represented as either ranges or categories with expansions, as they share the same behavior type from the app requirements. In some cases, equivalence classes can only take us so far. Let's say that each state group must be present in the test suite. That means that we cannot reduce the number of values below 10. But let's also assume that the location field doesn't interact directly with other user inputs. Instead, its impact on the results is isolated. We can then exclude it from the combinatorial settings by applying the risk-based coverage goal and reducing the priority of that parameter. If we don't see certain combinations that we believe are critical, there is no need to rush increasing the overall algorithm goal. If there are only a couple of special scenarios, using forced interactions is more efficient. When we compare the results of the two models, we can see a better balance between quality and speed in the optimized one at the bottom. And the important thing is, no essential coverage was actually sacrificed. The model updates just took into account a deeper understanding of both the target app and the nuances of combinatorial model-based testing. Hopefully, this video gives you an idea on how to solve one of the most common testing challenges and how to fine-tune your test design approach. Explore better ways of testing your products and give Xray Enterprise and Test Case Designer a try with a free trial today.